Bernie Sanders is being used as a puppet. Bernie Sanders, as always, likes having a hand up his wazoo because focus groups are now showing that undecided voters in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania are unimpressed with the Democratic Party. Black voters are leaving the Democratic Party. Women voters, Latino voters, everybody's leaving the Democratic Party. And gee, I wonder what is going on. Well, it's quite simple. Gone are the days of the 2016 and 2020 passion, enthusiasm, and magic of what Bernie Sanders or AOC brought in. And he goes, voters are realizing that they got suckered. See, the Democratic Party is just click, copy, paste of version of the Republican Party. The only difference is the Democrats put on this neoliberal mask with a smile, and they say that they care about the social issues. They don't. But let's go ahead and pull up this video here. Shout out to Case Study QB. Twitter is screwing around with his Twitter account. I don't know why. But first, let's find out about the focus groups, these undecided voters in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, and how they are triggering and making the Democrats panic, and why the Democrats are going to dust out old Bernie the Cuck Sanders.
Undecided voters in key swing states. It's a set of polls and focus groups conducted simultaneously, which I don't think has been done before, by WIC Insights and the interactive video platform Two Way. So we hear from voters in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Undecided voters, okay? And they are states, of course, that Donald Trump narrowly swept in 2016 and then Joe Biden in 2020. So let's start. Here are their answers when they're asked about how President Biden is doing on the economy. Take a listen.
I think he's been absolutely disastrous for the economy.
I agree.
Raise your hand if you think President Trump's policies on the economy would be better for your family personally.
Oh, I'm sorry. Got to play that. One more time. Wait a minute. Just had to play that because Trump is getting favoritism. What?
President Biden is doing on the economy. Take a listen.
I think he's been absolutely disastrous for the economy.
I agree.
Raise your hand if you think President Trump's policies on the economy would be better for your family personally. Raise your hand. All right. So.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And look, it's quite a diverse crowd there. Some liberal out there is crying, and all I can say is, oof, 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 oof. It's funny. Just remember, Hardlands Media said it first. The economy is going to be the #1 issue.
So that is everybody. President Biden argues that his economic record has been very good. He said President Trump's was not as good. What are you keying off of, Sean? Since you had the best smile, and Virginia had the second best smile, what are you keying off of to say President Trump's economic policies would be better for you?
My past performance of my 401k. I know it was post 2020 and everything kind of flipped around, but you can't blame everything on 2020 for forever.
We have areas here in Pennsylvania where it's just at a standstill right now. Like, things are supposed to be being built and the interest rates are just way too high for people to invest and start moving around.
And Virginia, just staying with you because Pennsylvania is near and dear to Joe Biden's heart. Are there Biden policies that you would blame for the problem? And if so, what are they?
The interest rate is so high right now, and I know they're trying to cut the inflation down, but like, if nobody is building, no businesses are really coming to Pennsylvania right now to keep us moving forward.
Even if you're trying to buy a house, because I'm trying to become a first-time home buyer, the prices are so high right now. It's just hard.
Is there anything Joe Biden could do or say between now and the time you vote that would make you feel differently about feeling that his policies would not be as good for your family on the economy? Or are you pretty much decided that Trump's policies would be better for the economy?
I mean, I feel like he doesn't even take accountability for what's going on in the economy. Not even accountability. Like, he's in denial that it's happening.
The point is, Biden needs
probably so. Like, look, the default name says all these people are racist. BS, D, and C. They're all racist. I'm willing to bet, like, some vote blue no matter who person in New York City or somewhere in some high fancy apartment building here in Chicago probably curling themselves up in a ball, wetting themselves, saying, I can't believe all these people are saying that Biden is screwing up.
Needs to hear the people, because when he's talking about the economy doing stellar, he's talking about the stock market. He's not looking at homelessness or joblessness. He's not, at Eugie's point, thinking about how much it costs to go to the grocery store. And he's gaslighting literally everyone in the process.
And Omar, you voted for Joe Biden last time, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Nick, Mika, it's okay. Wow. That's all you could say? I'm smiling here because it's funny seeing all these vote blue no matter who people, because I know sometimes we occasionally get a vote blue no matter who person come in and say, hey, don't you know how dangerous Trump is? And I'm like, I don't care.
401ks, interest rate, housing prices. Adrian, there's so much to talk about in terms of the campaign. The words accountability and denial brought up as it pertains to Joe Biden and the economy. Hearing all of that, you might think things are bad for the Biden campaign. But President Biden's Trump card might.
Whoa, you used Trump. Biden has a Trump card? Whoa, that's a bad word.
Might be Donald Trump. Listen to this group's thoughts, undecided voters, on the former president.
I just think Donald Trump is mean. He's a bully.
Oh, he's mean. Here's a song for you. Some people are mean. Some people are mean. Like, who cares? You run into mean people all the time. See, this is something that every parent should teach their kid. Hey, you're gonna run into jagoffs, bullies, idiots, and you know something? The world is like that. It was like that when prehistoric man was around. It's gonna be like that if humanity makes it to the stars. You're just gonna run into a bunch of a-holes, okay? That's what's gonna happen. You run into a-holes in preschool, kindergarten, elementary school, high school, college, work. No matter what, you're gonna run into them. The only caveat I take away from this is like I get entertainment when Trump makes fun of these politicians. You should be laughing at it too. All right. I found it to be hilarious.
And I think his policies are solid. I pretty much agree with most of them. I just don't like him as a leader.
I don't think he does a lot to try to bring groups together and you know, from when he
No, he kind of could. Okay. Like, look, he convinced me at that CNN town hall with Kathleen Collins, who, he just said, hey, look, about the war in Ukraine. I want it to stop. I want people to stop dying. I want them to stop dying. It's like, okay, I could agree with that. I want people to stop dying too, baby. Grapetine says, but Kit, Trump is a meanie head. He's so mean.
He ran the last time. Our country became so divided. I don't know if it's anything particular about what he said or did, but our country really we really picked sides on this, and it just got.
I feel like people forget about that, Sean. That's such a good point. It's like Trump is so volatile, and not only internal strife and conflict, but like I don't feel comfortable with him calling someone with nukes Rocket Man.
Yeah, and I think that
that was kind of funny.
Behind social media. It's like, you just get your fingers off of the phone.
Yeah.
Hold on. Shout out to Roger Meadows, who says, I wish someone would have mentioned paychecks are a blow because cost of living. Just saying prices too damn high doesn't advocate for higher wages to pass. Just prices to come down. Precisely. Yep. Let's see. And I want to pull up this one here. Kinky says, Trump is a war criminal. He could care less about people dying. Very true on that, too.
He's definitely
Exactly. It's a situation that went on at the Capitol for me that got really out of control. It makes you wonder, well, if he's back in there, what? Anything could happen now.
I feel like if Trump just shut his mouth, and just did his policy and his work, I would say, yes, please come back. But if he just learns to keep his mouth closed, don't make comments about people that he might not necessarily like that much, and just be a strong leader and do his job.
the divisiveness that he caused is in the country is like the big problem. His policies could be great, but that almost undermines that all.
His position differs based on his audience. And I mean, as a politician, that's a great skill to have, but it just makes him so untrustworthy to anybody who's paying attention. And that just seems entirely disingenuous.
Wow, so much there, despite.
Again, with the wow, Mika. Come on. And I want to give a shout out to Bad Cookies. See how constantly bringing up January 6th works to brainwash these people, Kit? That is why they always talk about it. January 6th, January 6th, January 6th. Well, it doesn't resonate with me. But hey, let's listen to the cuck of all cucks. Shout out to Comrade Misty, is Putin's buddy, Sarcasm Stardust, who has a fantastic radio show on TNT. What an absolute effing clown. Y'all been pushing him left for 4 years, and he's worse than he's ever been. Shut the F up and go away. Bernie Sanders. Do I have strong disappointments with President Biden? Listen to this nutless wonder.
Look, we are living in crazy times, and the challenges that our country and the world face are probably the most dangerous for a very, very long time. This is tough stuff. And I think the first point to be made in answer to your question is people have got to understand what a horrific danger Donald Trump will be if he is reelected. If you believe that climate change is real and a real threat to the future of this planet and our kids.
Okay, climate change. All right, let's talk about the climate change. What else?
And grandchildren. Donald Trump thinks climate change is a hoax.
Climate change.
If you think there's something wrong when 3 people own more wealth than the bottom half of American society, and we have an unprecedented level of income and wealth inequality, Donald Trump very clearly wants to give more tax breaks to billionaires. If you think that our healthcare system today is broken, Donald Trump wants to end the Affordable Care Act.
Okay. So not only that, Bernie, you do realize that you politicians have gold-plated healthcare. And number 2, your fantastic friends in Congress also do insider trading. There's a reason why. The taxes favor the top 1%, because your friends in D.C., your good friends, want it to be that way. Stop treating us like we're morons, Bernie. We see right through it, especially through your charade, you fucking fraud.
And throw millions of people off the health care that they have. If you think that women should have the fundamental right to control their own bodies, something we have taken for granted for decades, Donald Trump will be supporting a national abortion ban and make it harder for women to get abortions. So, and by the way, no tiny matter, if you happen to believe in democracy.
Oh, here we go. Democracy. Really? Citizens United ended democracy. The McCutcheon decision ended democracy. Okay. We don't have a democracy here, Bernie. So if you're disappointed in everything, I'm kind of, here's the thing. People are disappointed in you, you nutless cuck.
And the right of people to control their own lives. Donald Trump has made it very clear.
Bad Cookies writes, Dems could have codified that, Bernie. You're a freaking goddamn liar. To which Kinky writes, Bernie pushing Democratic propaganda is so sad. Of course, because again, Bernie is a cuck. He is a liar. He took us all for a ride.
Clear that he will take us to an authoritarian type of society. Those are the guys around the world, strong men around the world who do not believe in democracy are his heroes. So it is absolutely imperative that we defeat Trump, clearly the most dangerous candidate in maybe American history. All right. Now, do I have disagreements with Biden? Do I have strong disagreements with Biden? The answer is yes, I do. And I'm going to do everything I can to move Biden in a more progressive agenda. But I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, so that means he's willing to cuck. That means he's willing to compromise. That means he's willing to be a little baby and bend over backwards, crawl, cry, and beg for all of you to vote for his good friend, Joe Biden.
I'm not going to allow Donald Trump to become elected president. So what do we have to do? We have to go forward in a several-pronged approach. Number 1, we defeat Donald Trump.
Always got to come back to Trump.
Number 2, at the grassroots level, we mobilize people not only to vote for Biden, but to support the many, many good progressive candidates who are today under assault from AIPAC and other super PACs out there.
AIPAC and other super PACs. Really? 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 We got to support that? Well, here, why don't you explain this to these young black voters in Georgia who backed Biden in 2020 are now defecting? Explain that to them.
This November will be the first time Lonnie White and Rukia Garbo will be old enough to vote in the presidential election. And just the second time Malik Poole and Mosin Shora will cast a presidential ballot. None are planning to vote for Joe Biden or Donald Trump.
If I were to vote tomorrow, I wouldn't vote, period. Ideally, I would like to vote third party.
I will vote for an independent candidate. I'm considering either voting for Claudia de la Cruz or Cornel West at this.
Well done. Well done. Now, many people on BSDNC and the white liberal brunch crowd are going to call all these people Trump supporters. They're going to be ashamed. They're going to be doing the whole talking down to, well, aren't you worried about Trump? You should be very concerned about Trump. Trump is around the corner. He'll come and get you.
At this point, if there is no substantive policy change when it comes to the genocide in Gaza, then there's not really a discussion for me.
When we met at this barbecue restaurant in Atlanta, all four told me they were raised and originally registered as Democrats. But this year, the president's handling of the Israel-Gaza war has turned them away.
I think what Biden has done in aiding and abetting in a genocide is just something I cannot stand for.
You're willing to withhold your vote in the presidential election unless there is a ceasefire.
Yes.
And it's implemented.
Yes.
Not voting could mean Donald Trump gets into office.
Do you think?
Oh, my goodness. Not voting could mean Donald Trump gets in office. Okay, who cares? Honestly. Hey, to my fellow viewers who are liberals, who are just so triggered by my show, I don't care if Trump gets reelected into office. I just don't care. I really don't. Okay? All that talk all of y'all were saying in 2020 of how everything's going to go upside down if Trump gets reelected, it happened under Biden. I mean, I don't see any of you pink pussy motherfuckers out there protesting in the streets. I don't see any of you people out there. You know, Democrats could have codified Roe v. Wade a long time ago, but they didn't because it's good for fundraiser money. Democrats are owned by AIPAC just like Republican politicians are, and that's why nothing's being done in Gaza. You know, these Democratic politicians are just like Republican politicians. Joe Biden is just like Donald Trump. And look, controversial statement in a 3, 2, and an uno. Joe Biden is one of the many neoliberal architects that helped create this neoliberal system that we are in. He is the mastermind. He is the genius.
Think he'll be better on Gaza? Trump would probably say flatten Gaza and make it into a golf course. I have absolutely no faith in him.
Would you not say that also the people who...
And Leora Farzik says, Hard Lens Media, we love it when you talk dirty. As you should. As you should. And of course, Deep Dish is great pizza. Correct, Juliet. Thank you so much for your donation.
are not voting for one of the two people who are the likely people to really be in this race have a role to play in kind of giving the race to Donald Trump in a state like Georgia where it's going to be like razor thin?
Oh my goodness, because Georgia has never once ever before been a red state. It's so razor thin. I would have just told her to fuck off. That would have been me. That's just me speaking.
Yeah, no, I'll do you one better, actually. I think that just means that's why the Democrats should listen.
Yo!
Exactly.
Hey!
Radical.
Whoa! Hey! That kid with the 1, 2, and an
oof. 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 Oof.
Brilliant. In fact, we're going to rewind that again. Just listen to that. That was brilliant. That was a work of art.
Trump in a state like Georgia where it's going to be like razor thin?
Yeah, no, I'll do you one better, actually. I think that just means that's why the Democrats should listen.
Exactly.
Whoa.
radical and more tapped in than their peers, is how the group describes themselves. Rokia even helping to organize this demonstration in Atlanta last October, calling for peace and aid for the Palestinian people. While they don't speak for the majority of Black voters, their dissent poses a real concern for Democrats in battleground states like Georgia, where Biden won by fewer than 12,000 votes. Black voters under age 30 made up only about 6% of voters in Georgia in 2020. That group voted for Joe Biden by more than 50 points.
We are holding their election in the palm of our hands, and they're not listening.
We're tired of just hearing him say these things, these empty promises. We have no trust in Joe Biden.
The Republican Party isn't earning their vote either.
Both sides are just equal, all in all. Nothing is being done for us. If enough people vote third party, we can win. That's my thoughts.
Well said. Well said indeed.
President Biden's campaign has touted his success on key issues affecting young voters, including student loan forgiveness, lowering unemployment, and tackling inflation. Still, though,
I don't feel it. People may be employed, but can they survive off of it?
The federal minimum wage has stayed the same since 2009. I was 5 in 2009. I'm 20 years old now. Right? I work at Goodwill now for $12 an hour. and cost of living keeps increasing, especially here.
What could...
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You know what? You know what? The kids are all right. I didn't say alt-right. I said all right.
President Biden do to change your mind as far as how you'll vote in November?
Call for a permanent ceasefire and actually implement it. I would like us to stop giving aid to Israel.
If he doesn't get elected, that is his fault. That's not our fault. That's not the Black voters here. That's not X, Y, and Z. No, it's on him.
Good. Fantastic. Which again, I gotta say, oof. Well done. Well done to those kids. Well done to all of them for speaking truth to power. Well done to them for actually standing up. And just a short reminder too, for every single person watching this right now, just remember this. These Democratic politicians are cucks. Always have been, always will be. Because no matter what, they will never change your mind. Here's Cory Booker asked if he still supports Israel. This guy, remember him? He ran for president. Remember him? This loser?
Israel, of course, is an ally. We all know that. But there's also a lot of concern about the
Are they? Are they really?
Humanitarian efforts that are happening there, or a lot of innocent civilians who are losing their lives. You know, you've been very vocal about your support. You still feel that way?
Look, if you could look at what's happening in Gaza or Ukraine or Haiti or Sudan right now and not be torn up, not having to anguish your heart, then I don't know if you really have full humanity. We're a country right now that is witnessing hunger and suffering of innocent people in Gaza, as well as in a lot of other conflict zones. And this is a tough time to lead. But President Biden on the world stage right now has stepped up in ways that have earned him the respect of our allies and peers all across the globe. Just talk to European leaders about what we're doing.
He can't answer, LOL. No, he's given a word salad defending Joe Biden.
In Ukraine. And right now he is, and not him directly, but his team is negotiating between the terrorist organization Hamas and Israel to bring an end to this. He's called unequivocally, let's bring about a ceasefire, release of hostages, cessation of hostilities,
He's
open
called
the
upon
gates
that, Cory,
to...
but it still has not happened. That's what I think is so frustrating for so many people.
I think it's frustrating.
Oh, it's so frustrating. Geez, if only there was something we could do about it. There's a genocide happening in Gaza, and we're losing voters, uncommitted voters, Black voters, Latino voters, women voters, young people. We're losing everybody in the Democratic Party. If only there was something we can do about it. I wish, these are from the words of Senator Cory Booker himself, I wish there was something I could do about it, and I was in a position in which I could. Oh, wait, you're a fucking U.S. Senator, you jagoff.
I think anybody who looks at it feels frustrated to see the kind of death and destruction in Gaza, the kind of violence that was endured by Israel, the worst attack on Jews since the Holocaust, the hostages, including Americans that are being held. These are not easy issues, and they shouldn't be judged on the politics of them. They should be judged on the work that needs to get done to resolve this conflict. And I'm grateful that President Biden is standing in the saddle in a very difficult time to lead globally, making tough calls and trying to drive this conflict to a resolution to end the violence.
Oh, isn't that sweet? By the way, Violin says Booker has a bootlicker's face. I almost said booty licker's face. I almost had that Freudian slip right there, but it would have been funny, real funny, if you wrote that Violin. See, we have fun here at Hardlands Media. Lots of fun.
And resolve the situation in a way that ends this punctuated violence we've had there, whether it's what we just saw or the attacks on Israel in 2014 or what Hamas and Iran and their proxies have been doing. This is tough times, and I understand the political ramifications, Gail, but this is really a time that should pull on our humanitarian heart. We need to get a lot more humanitarian aid into Gaza, but it also should pull on our larger ideals. As a guy who's traveled to the Arab countries in that region, from Egypt to Saudi Arabia to the UAE to Israel, everybody says, ultimately, we have to end the terrorism of Hamas, Iran, and their proxies, and ultimately get to a two-state solution where the Palestinian people have dignity and security and autonomy, and Israel has their security and autonomy as well. And that's what the Biden administration is really working towards.
It's all, hold on, I'm going to give the final word to Mastermind Hour. It's either Kabuki Theater or Bukaki Theater, one way or the other. We are all going home with white on our face. And there's a perfect way to describe the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is nothing more than an institution that lies to its voters. Look, there's Cory Booker lying live on air, live to the American people. Does it come as a surprise why those young kids and even those uncommitted voters that I played earlier are breaking away from the system? Breaking away and not impressed with Biden or the Democrats? Because the Bidens never delivered. Joe Biden can't deliver, folks. He just cannot, and possibly will never deliver to you, the American people. He's not designed that way. He can't help it. I'm sorry if he's such a clown, because he is a clown. But this is the world we live in. It's the system that we live in. And these jokers, these politicians, think all of us are stupid enough to fall for their trap. We are not. We will never will ever again. And I hope all of you, my audience, have serious conversations with people who are perhaps maybe feeling ashamed of maybe not voting Democrat. Tell them that it's okay to feel this way. It's okay. It's okay to be critical of the Democratic Party, no matter what happens. After the 2024 election, next year in 2025 is a whole new year in which we can make a better future. And we can start laying the foundations now. But stop being subservient to the DNC and to the RNC. They don't have your best interests at heart. And it's okay to finally speak out. The institutions are crumbling. We could see it. It's time to start building something better and stronger and something that can empower the people, not keep them oppressed.